10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Champions! Wrexham are promoted. They have their storybook ending.
You can walk through the fire. You can walk through the fire. When it's down to the wire. You can walk through the fire.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrexham Texan. My name is Jake Green. Yeah, watching that opening title sequence, that needs to be updated. That's what I'm gathering. I can get some much better footage to put in there. Yeah, love the song still. If y'all don't know the song, it's Through the Fire by Jay Denton. And yeah, the song's phenomenal. In fact, most of the things that Jay Denton does are phenomenal. So highly recommend you check out Jay Denton's work. Spotify, Apple, what have you. All the music sites is where you can find him, are where you can find him. Man. All right, y'all. It's been a couple weeks. Like I've stated before, I am insanely busy at the moment. We're building a house in Montana, physically building it ourselves, and trying to sell our house here in Atlanta. And those two things, along with launching our PeacefulSea network, which we'll get to here in a minute, and my other shows and just other obligations and all that kind of stuff. This show takes the biggest hit, I think, when I get just overwhelmed with other things going on. So I apologize. It's definitely my fault. I probably bit off a little more than I could chew, and I probably am just not quite not quite good enough at scheduling my time to make this show and one other show, Free Georgia Podcast, make those two shows the priority that they should be. So I'm going to work really hard on that. So apologies for not coming out with more episodes. I got to get more folks to come on this show too. I haven't reached out to any potential guests in like 6 months, and that's on me as well. So I got to find some good guests because we've had them in the past, and those shows have always been my favorite, where I get to talk to people around Wrexham or just, around the fandom in general, or the docuseries. So yeah, hopefully I'm able to do more of that in the very near future. So thank you all for tuning in today. First off, we just launched the Dollar Media Club at PeacefulSea Network. PeacefulSea Network is my company's network. So I own a production company called PeacefulSea Productions. We launched PeacefulSea Network this past year, and the Dollar Media Club is, yes, I know everybody has subscription fatigue, but the Dollar Media Club is the cheapest possible subscription you can get. It is $1 a month. And you get, or $10 a year. I think it's $1 a month. It's $1 a month. You get access to our Discord, where, there are other people who are fans of different shows in there. You get discounts on merchandise. You get exclusive shows. You get all of the films and movies that we produce. You get to stream them at any point in time. There are discount sponsorship opportunities, red carpet premieres, and you can also guest star on shows, depending on which level you join at. So yeah, if you go over to peacefulsea.network, you can click on the join the Dollar Media Club, and here are the tiers you can see. The biggest one is investor. If you have $10,000 a year to throw at a production company, throw it this way. We make good stuff. And otherwise, you can do one of these three, which are far more likely to be your options. The cheapest version is like I said, $12 a year, and then $100 a year, and then $1,000 a year, depending on what you're in it for. Yeah, I love it. I love our Discord. I love being able to chat with folks. You can chat with people from different shows, and it's just wonderful to we're trying to build a community. And this is kind of I'll just give you the quick spiel here. We are a completely independent network. We will stand firm in our values no matter the cost. If you've somehow landed on this corner of the interwebs, then you just might be the audience we intended to reach. If you've enjoyed what we've produced and you have the means, joining our club will be mutually beneficial and allow us to expand our reach and our platform. Look over the benefits of each tier and select the one that best suits you. We plan on, in the future, launching multiple divisions. So I'm going to launch a full sports branch of the company, where we do sports news. We cover sports from all around the world, but probably more specifically the US to start with. We're going to launch a news division where we give you independent journalistic news so that you don't have to rely on some of the more mainstream corporate press type news. And we're also going to do some live events. We're going to launch a live events portion of the company. So I'm looking very much forward to all that. And you signing up for the Dollar Media Club would be extremely helpful. So yeah, that's all the self-promotion for today. Actually, go over to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, WXM Texan. That's where you should follow me. I am not as active on Instagram as I should be. I got to get it back on my phone. I deleted it from my phone because social media was becoming a problem on my phone. So I deleted that one. I think I need to bring it back and set some like phone restrictions, those things where it like gives you a timer and times you out. 'Cause otherwise I just sit there and I keep scrolling because it's so difficult to not do that. In fact, I was doing that up to like 5 minutes before this show started on my iPad. It's freaking stupid. All right. Yeah, I have missed a couple games since my last episode. I mean, I've watched them. I just missed talking about them. But today we're going to focus primarily on yesterday's game. So we're going to watch the highlights together on mute because that is the only way that I don't get a strike. And yeah, kind of just talk about yesterday's match, because what an utter success it was. Mansfield, we're both in the promotion contention, and I loved our starting lineup. It was absolutely, it's just what we've come to expect, I guess, at this point. And yeah, the game was incredibly enjoyable. It was frantic. It seemed extremely hectic. There didn't ever seem to be a good rhythm that anybody got in. It just seemed like people were taking what they could. And Okonkwo, I got to say, bailed us out multiple times. This pass right here by Dobson was awful. What was he think? That should have been a goal. That should have been a goal for them, but he shot it right at Okonkwo. I don't understand how that wasn't a goal for them. That was such an easy setup, and he just blew it. Like, he blew it probably because he wasn't expecting Dobson to do such a terrible pass. But then you got this Barney shot. What the heck, man? What a freaking shot from outside the goal box. You thought he was going to dump it off to Mullen. Mullen thought he was going to dump it off to Mullen. Mullen was pissed for about a quarter of a second until that ball went in the back of the net. And then he was all happy. Then everything was good. I mean, that shot was sick. You didn't think he was going to bring it back. You thought he was going to dump it off right there. So did all the defenders. And he stopped and just launched it in the corner. The goalie is probably slightly out of position, but I mean, what a shot that was. It hit the side wall of the back of the net. That's impressive. Oh, no, it didn't. It hit the sidewall afterwards. If it did hit the sidewall, that would have been a better shot. But either way. Yeah, one thing that if you watch the match, you'll notice is that they had possession an insane amount of the time. Also, they complained a lot in the box. We're going to get to one of those a little later. That was definitely not a foul at all. That was not a penalty. Like I said, most of the highlights are like near goals or near highlights for them, because they had the ball 60-something% of the time. I mean, they dominated us on possession. And it just seemed like we were constantly playing defense, constantly just trying to keep it together, forcing Okonkwo to work extremely hard. I thought Cleworth did great. Okonkwo obviously did great. Cannon did very well. Barney, I mean, that guy is invaluable. He is so quick and so relentless, and they're so like teams are now prepared for his crosses, his passes. And then when they're prepared for that, he goes and, shoots the ball like he did, which is unbelievable. Okonkwo nearly got caught off guard right there. That was a little iffy. But yeah, they had so many chances to score, and Okonkwo and the defense just came through. I thought Ollie Palmer played lights out yesterday. I know he didn't score. He had a couple chances where he almost did. But I thought Palmer did a phenomenal job. It was between Okonkwo and Barney for me for the man of the match. But Palmer, I thought, played incredibly well. What a great pass to Mullen. I mean, that was phenomenal. Like, that was so good. Then you just got to wait for yeah, he may have gotten a little ahead of himself. He should have let his players get down and help him. But yeah, 1-0 at the half, and as you know, that would end up being the only goal of the whole game. Yeah, Barnett's the one who carried us yesterday. Barnett and Okie. I don't know if anybody's calling him Okie. I'm going to start calling Arthur Okonkwo Okie because it's just easier. Yeah, second half started. It was more of the same. Like it was a very physical game too. That was one thing that I really, really liked was the ref just let us play, let everyone play. There was no little ticky-tack fouls here and there. If it wasn't like a severe foul, he wasn't going to call it. And that is my favorite kind of sport to watch. Like this ticky-tack nonsense where you touch a guy and they call a foul. That stuff drives me nuts. It ruins the flow of the game. Yeah, it makes it unpleasant to watch, and I guarantee you it's not fun to play either. We did have a couple more chances in the second half than we did the first half, but they didn't amount to anything. And yeah, that was it. This one, I thought this one was going to be a goal for Mullen. I just thought he was going to be able to dribble around them, but then he took it a different direction than what I thought he would. And then Lee, man, it just felt like Lee could have put that in the back right corner rather than launching it directly over the goalie and over the net. But who am I to say? I'm a mere spectator, and he is a player. The Texan of the year last year, I might add. I thought they were going to score right there. Hit the crossbar. That could have been a handball. I couldn't tell. I guess it hit Lee in the face, maybe. But Okie ended up getting it. Yeah, you should have scored that, man. Like, you should have scored that crossbar hit. Like, it was wide open for you, and you just cranked it you just leaned slightly too far back and kicked it slightly too hard. That was so close. Oh, man. Let's see what we got coming up here. Yeah, good no call. Nothing happened there. I don't know why everybody's whining. They knew what the ref was going to call all game. Like, once the second half started, you should have known what the ref was bound to call because of his calls in the first half. Terrible by Cleworth right there. Set them up perfectly for a goal, and fortunately they missed. But Cleworth just passed it to him. And then Okie was able to save it. Here comes Elliot Lee down the pitch. Dump it to Barney. There we go. I thought he was going to get a second right there. Ooh. Oh, no, that's not Barney. That's freaking Mullen. That's my bad. And then he complained that he thought it was tipped. It wasn't tipped. Mullen still whines more than any other player on our team. I thought Palmer got a header right there and then got a second chance right there. Oh, Palmy. Ali. The whole crowd started chanting his name a little later when he got a foul, which was awesome. He was just hustling. He seems to, I think I don't know. I think ever since McLean showed up, he started playing harder and working harder. I don't know why I think that. I have no basis for that, but I feel like it's ever since McLean showed up. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Ollie Palmer was always good for us, but I think McLean being there for some reason made him want to work harder. He's not the only big man on campus anymore. I don't know. He just seems like he's pulled out all the stops since McLean arrived. It also is interesting that McLean is older than everybody, but is still more ripped than anybody on the team. Love that about him. Let's see. Oh, Rathbone came in. I love Rathbone. He's just a little badger, man. He just badgers everybody. How did they not score one of these? They had so many shots. Oh my gosh. It's astounding. Like, yeah, I mean, Okie definitely saved a ton of them, but there were a few that he definitely couldn't have saved if they'd put it in the right spot, but they missed every chance they had. There it is. There's the match. Solid victory versus a top 5 squad. Put us up in the rankings. Definitely put us in the promotion talks once again. Absolutely delightful. I thought the game overall was really fun to watch. It was, it was a home game, so we're definitely favored to win. We definitely play better at home. It is still a top 5 team that is extremely good. Mansfield is no joke, and us coming away with a 1-0 victory, getting all 3 points, that's huge. That's huge. Let's go over a couple things from the match. I mean, first of all, Barney, that picture is so good. Great picture. Love it. Utter joy. Come on. And then, yeah, Okonkwo, 50th league appearance, and some crucial saves today. Love the teal. Looks great. Stands out. Sick uniform. And then here's the one that so many people online are whining about this like it's a freaking penalty or something. Here, we can mute it. We don't even have to. He, like, Scar touched him. Like, touched him. Look how light this touch is. Just touched his back, and the guy just said, "Oh, I mishandled it, so I'm just going to dive." Because you can tell before he touches him, he makes the little tap and then taps it accidentally with his right foot right into Okonkwo. Like, nothing about this is a penalty. People thinking that this is not a dive are blind, because the guy barely touched him. If you're going to fall, I love that he makes $9K a week and still throws himself to the ground. I love that comment. Rather than just trying to score. This is why the whole idea of flopping, I don't think pays off in the end. People want to sell these fouls like it's going to help them in the long run. I actually think it can only hurt you in the long run. It might help you in the moment once or twice or for a little while, but I think in the end, what's going to end up happening is you are just the guy who cried wolf. And at some point in time, people aren't going to take you seriously anymore. I don't know this guy's history with diving, but I'm talking about just diving in general. I think the more that people dive, the less serious those dives are going to be taken. And the fewer and fewer fouls and penalties that are going to be given because people are just sick of it. Like, be a man and stay on your feet. It's not that hard. Score the goal. Just don't be a little weak child and have one little hand to the back shove you to the ground. Like, that's pitiful. Yeah. I mean, y'all have heard me talk about diving a million times, and I can't stand diving. It's just infuriating. So anyway, let's go look at some stats. FOTMob was down earlier today, but it is back up and running. Like I said, look, they had the ball for 61% possession over us. They had 15 total shots, 4 of them on target, and 3 of them were big chances. They missed all 3. We had 2 shots on target. 1 of them went in. Arthur played so well. It was crazy. Look at the grouping of these shots. I mean, look how many shots were within the 18-yard box and just outside the 6. Like just outside the 6. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shots from near point blank range, and they still couldn't get it in the back of the net. I don't know if this has been a problem for them or not, but they could not score yesterday, and it was very clear that Arthur was just too good for them, and that some of the moments just got they just missed some moments. They could have easily scored 1 or 2, but they just missed. And it could have been pressure from our defense, or it could have just been mistakes on their part. I don't know. Let's see. They had a ton of passes too. 442 to 235. Incredible. They had 4 corners. We didn't take a single corner yesterday. Y'all, we didn't play all that well. Like, our defense played pretty well, but like the offense, we played okay. We just did not put any pressure on them whatsoever. The only reason we won that game, 2 reasons. 1, Barney making a heck of a shot from the corner of the box, and then Arthur Okonkwo being way too good. Those are the only 2 reasons we won, because otherwise we just didn't play that well as a team. I thought some individuals played well, but as a team, I just don't think we played all that great. Let's see. I'm not complaining. That's going to happen. We still got the victory, so it is what it is. Obviously, they won all of the offensive categories. We won all of the defensive categories, because when you play defense for over 60% of the game, you're probably going to win all the defensive categories, especially if you don't give up any goals. Let's see. Anything else interesting? Both sides got 2 yellow cards. Barney was the man of the match. Okonkwo was a close second. And then McLean was, I guess, third, technically. We're not going to count Cargill in there. Cleworth did well, too. Look at that. Yeah, and I thought Palmer played better than McLean yesterday, but that could just be me. I thought McLean played great as well. So, yeah. Overall, like, I've been very happy with how we're playing. Like, I know we're not at the top of the table, but we're still doing great. We're still very much on our way to another promotion. Y'all, if we just keep up what we've done, first half of the season's almost over. If we just keep up what we've done so far, we're getting promoted again, 3 years in a row. Isn't it a stat that no team has been promoted 3 years in a row? Isn't that a thing? In the EFL, has anyone ever has an EFL team been promoted 3 times in a row? Let's find out together if we can. Let's see. Brave says, based on the provided search results, there is no instance of an EFL team being promoted 3 times in a row. Obviously, this might not be exactly accurate, because it's just a web search. Let's see. Okay. Yep. Immediately proven wrong. Swansea City is one. They started in the 4th division, now known as League 2, in 77 and 78, and achieved 3 consecutive promotions, reaching the 1st division, now known as Premier League, in 81-82. Does that math add up? Yeah. Okay. So there we go. I didn't think it added up. Nope, not consecutive. They're in 2nd division for 2 seasons. Bournemouth did it in 5 years. So Swansea City did it in 4 years. Bournemouth did it in 5. Fulham did it and did 4 and 5 seasons. Wow. Oh, 3 and 5 seasons. There we go. Yeah, so it really doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's been promoted 3 times in 3 years. And we have the opportunity to do that. How wild is that, y'all? Like that is so incredibly impressive. That we have that opportunity to get promoted 3 times in 3 years from National League up to the Championship League. Do you realize how crazy that is? That is wild. And I think so many people are taking this for granted. Like I still see people complain and whine and get super upset when we lose a game or draw a match or whatever. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. Enjoy this. Like you're going to lose games every season. Enjoy this time where we are in this. I mean, it almost is a fairy tale. Like it's wild how good we actually are and how dedicated to making this club better the owners are. They go above and beyond, man, and they are doing a great job. And I think Parkinson is absolutely crushing it. I have had 0 complaints about him all season. I think he's doing exactly. I mean, what do I know? But I think he's doing exactly what he should be doing. And winning games and being at the top of League One is absolutely what he should be doing. And I think the culture that he's creating is perfect. Everyone gets along. No one's pissed off at each other. We don't have any massive showboats who are ruining it for everybody else, who are just drawing all the attention to themselves. He's created a team, like a squad, like something to actually be proud of and like not be embarrassed of at any moment in time. That doesn't happen with every team. And yeah, I would just encourage everybody, just enjoy this. I mean, we just beat Mansfield. Mansfield is now out of playoff contention at this moment. We are 3rd in the league, just behind Birmingham and Wickham. To be fair, Birmingham has a game in hand, so there is that. And Mansfield also has a game in hand on us. So they could be right back up in playoff contention very, very soon. In fact, actually, we'll look at that in a second. There was a little bit of news, and I don't want this to get political. We're going to talk about a little bit of politics here in a second, but this show is not going to take a political stance per se. The news is obviously surrounding James McLean. Okay. Wrexham FC player James McLean stood away from his teammates as they observed a minute's silence ahead of Remembrance Sunday. So he's taken a lot of flack for this. This is something that he's very outspoken on. I get why. Okay, look, I have Irish ancestry. I also have some English ancestry, as tons of people do, have both. And I have done an not an extraordinary amount of research into the conflict between England, between UK, Northern Ireland, all of that. The whole conflict of the Troubles, I've done a ton of research into as well. In fact, I wrote a script called The Troubles that I'm trying to get made into a movie. We made a short film that would be part of the Dollar Media Club if you want to sign up for the Dollar Media Club. We made a short film to try to pitch that movie. So I've done my research into this conflict and into just the constant dissension between the two sides of this argument. And look, it is not an easy thing to do. Everyone wants to stay on their team's side and back their team. And I'm not talking about sports right now. I'm talking about in anything. back their team no matter what, and we're right and you're wrong, and this is why, and shut up, and we don't want to hear you, and what you're doing is incorrect. Okay, well, listen, here's James McLean talking about the hang on one second. Here's James McLean talking about the incident.
I was a dairy lad growing up. I have my beliefs. Just because I became a footballer in England doesn't mean I was going to change them. It's quite funny actually because, you know, there's two sides to that history. But over there, there's an arrogance and an ignorance where they're taught one side of their history. So they speak about, you know, the IRA and this and that as terrorists and, you know, all this and that. And, you know, we look at the British Army as terrorists as well because of what they inflicted in my home city and throughout the north of Ireland. So, you know, like I said, there's two sides, you know, but over there you're taught one side and they see themselves as quite arrogant and superior to us, and that's gonna be the frustration because I understand their beliefs. I don't go around trying to, you know, push my beliefs on them. What I ask for in return is people have different backgrounds, people have different upbringings, different beliefs. Like, you have yours, I have mine. Just respect mine. You don't agree with them, because I don't agree with yours. But I don't try and force mine upon you. Or over there, it's trying to be forced upon me, and that's where I have an issue.
So I don't agree with every single word from that statement, but I do agree with a lot of it. Like, I know that James McLean is a bit of a loudmouth, a little brash at times. That is not lost on me. However, I don't think that ridiculing somebody for standing up for their beliefs, that when it doesn't actually harm anybody. So all he did was stand off to the side while his English, Welsh, Scottish brethren stood, okay, in a moment of silence for Remembrance Sunday. That's all he did. It didn't hurt anybody. It wasn't he wasn't attacking anyone. He just stood aside so they could do their thing, and that he stood as a proud Irishman, proud of his history, and wasn't trying. I don't believe was trying to actually start an incident. He just stood firm in his beliefs and his values, and that was that. And I don't think that's something you should be ridiculed for. I think any conflict in all of history, it is almost never 100% one side's fault. Ever. There's no way. In fact, I challenge you to find me a conflict where it was 100% one side's fault from the beginning of time until now. Those things just don't exist. There is going to be fault on both sides, and it's much, much, much better to resolve those things peacefully than it is to resolve them physically or with violence. It is far better to forgive and forget and move on than it is to keep bringing these things up and keep bringing these things up and ridicule and sorry, I'm getting distracted. Give me a second. Sorry, there's people in my house right now and they're being very loud. Forgot where I was, but I don't think that James McLean is in the wrong here. I don't think he was speaking out or speaking negatively about anyone in particular. And I don't think that he hates England in general. He definitely doesn't care for the military, which is understandable. I don't like the American military a lot of the time. I don't think we should be in a lot of the places where we are. And I just hope that people can. I just think forgiveness is lost these days. I think people are not good at forgiving and not good at forgetting and not good at moving on and trying to come together. I just think people are really bad at that. I think for some reason, the culture that has been dominant for the past 10 to 20 years has kind of moved away from that, which is very sad. Like, I think forgiveness is such a powerful thing. It's such a great thing to do, and to focus on and to implement in your life, that I don't, it makes me very sad that we seem to have gotten away from that. But anyway, that that was it for Mr. James McLean. I wish him all the best. Love the dude. Love that he's on our squad, and hope that he stays true to his values. So yeah. All right, let's talk about the table for a second. We got Wycombe Wanderers up at the top. They've won 5 in a row. They're on a streak. Birmingham is obviously still up there. They've got a game in hand on us and Wycombe. So technically speaking, they could be at the top of the table. We are doing fantastic. We've won 3 out of the last 5, drawn the other 2. We've gotten, 11 points out of the last 5 games out of a possible 15. So I think we're doing just fine. I'm looking forward to I'm just looking forward to the rest of the season. I think we're in a great spot. I don't think there's basically anything to complain about. I think all of our signings have been great. I have no problem with anybody we've signed so far. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. This is just going extremely well, and this is exactly what I want and what we should all want. So here's a look at our next game. It's against Port Vale. Port Vale, let's see where they are on the table. Are they down at the bottom? Where are they? Wait a second. Is this a some type of dadgummit? This is definitely. I didn't think I remembered seeing Port Vale. Let's see. Oh, it's an EFL trophy game. Okay, so EFL trophy game. Wrexham wins. Whatever. Which league is Port Vale even in? I don't even know. Table. They're in League 2. Okay. Oh wow, they're leading League 2 at the moment. Okay, so it actually might be a pretty decent game. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to predict Wrexham wins 2-1. Yeah. And then let's see. Where's our next dadgum match? Why can't I find anything on here? There we go. Morecambe. Nope, not Port Vale. Dadgummit. This is becoming pitiful on my part. Stockport. My goodness. Okay, so our next league match is versus Stockport, who are 5th in the league. They scored 12 goals in the last 5 matches. Wow. They have been awarded the most penalties this season. And let's see. Stockport and Wrexham have not drawn in any of their last 12 matches against each other. What are the odds on that? I think just based solely off the odds, I need to say 2-2 draw. I think they're going to draw just based on those odds. I think 1 out of 13. 2-2 draw. That's what I'm going for. We've scored 4 goals in our last 5 matches. Not great. We've kept the most clean sheets. Thank you, Okie. And we're ranked number 1 at home this season. But we're not playing at home, so who cares? Why would they mention that since we're playing away? That makes no friggin' sense. Okay, I think it's a 2-2 draw. I think we end up putting one in the back of the net in injury time in the second half, in order to tie the game and get 1 point out of it. So that's my prediction. Yeah, that's it for today, y'all. Go check out PeacefulSea.network. Sign up for that Dollar Media Club, or just check out some of our offerings on there. Like I said, I'm going to try to do better. I got to keep this consistent. I might move this to Tuesday or Wednesday night. It just gets too complicated to do this on the weekends, and Tuesday or Wednesday night might end up being better for me. I know it's not good live on a Tuesday evening for people in the UK, and I apologize for that if you want to watch the show live, but it just, in order for me to keep consistency going, it might be a necessity for me to do that. So that'll do it for today. Really appreciate y'all watching. Subscribe, like the video, like the audio. You can go over to Spotify and watch the video now. I now do this video on Spotify rather than just audio, so go check that out. Other than that, y'all have a phenomenal week. Love you all. Up the town.
Search my soul with all your heart. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. And if you knock my soul with all your strength, you're gonna find it. You're gonna find it.